Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Mai, and today's video is going to be a penthouse renovation or reconstruction really for the Nadir family in Ciudad Enamorada, which is the world that came with Love Struck. And the Nadir family is one of the new townie families that came with the expansion pack, and they live in like the very city part of the world, the part with like the nightclub and stuff. And they had a really cool penthouse, and I definitely took a lot of inspiration from the original build when I made this one, but I also just made it look a little bit better because we all know how EA builds are. And we're starting off with this entryway, and I also added kind of a little storage area with the trash chute and the mailbox just to kind of, I don't know, create a little extra bit. I don't know why I wanted to do it this way, but I did, and I think it looks really cool. And I put a bike in here, so if your Sims want to use that bike, they can. And I really like this entryway. I used a wallpaper from the Snowy Escape expansion pack, and I used a flooring from Get Famous, and I thought they looked really cool. And I actually believe that the front door that I used is from Wedding Stories. So quite the jumble, quite the mix of packs. And you can probably tell from my voice, I am still recovering from my cold. I don't know why, it's just one of those things that still linger, so I'm sorry if my voice is still kind of stuffy. But yeah, I really like this build that I made. I kept it quite simple. I made it not super minimal, but a little bit more minimal because I did make it a modern build. So I feel like with the modern style, you don't have as much clutter, which is probably for the better because it was a very big space, so getting rid of that pressure of having to fill every corner with clutter was kind of nice. And but yeah, I did definitely add a lot of the cluttered touches that make it feel a little bit more lived in, and there's a lot of love put into it, there's a lot of details, and we are just making the floor plan. I used a lot of woods, and also I just felt like the woods helped kind of counter the otherwise colder elements of this build. So like the stone walls and everything, I felt like that kind of made it colder, but adding some warmer woods definitely helped with that. And I really love this kind of feature that I placed in the middle of this room, which is kind of just the general living room area and entryway and everything. I placed I don't know what it would be, it's not really a terrarium, but it's just a little green space in the middle, just some windows looking into a grassy area, and I just used that wall around it to place a fireplace, very modern fireplace. I think that both the coffee table and the couch that I used are from the Moschino stuff pack, while the armchairs that I used are from the Decor to the Max kit, and then I used the love seat that came with the Love Struck expansion. And I really love the rug that I placed. It's just a base game one that I sized down, but I felt like it was really, I don't know, it looked really nice in the space, and the brown colors just kind of warmed it up a little bit as well. I always struggle with rugs, but yeah, I'm glad that I found that one. And over here next to the entryway, next to the door, I decided to place a full-length mirror. We do have an entryway table out in the hall, so I didn't really feel the need to place one inside. Also, I mean, it's The Sims, so it's not like you actually need an entryway table to drop your keys or anything like that, but I really like the way that that looked. And over here next to one of the doors to the balcony, I just placed a rug. I kept it super simple, and under the stairs I added a bookshelf. I don't actually know if that makes the bookshelf, if that makes the staircase unusable. If it does, you could just remove that and leave it blank. It'll be a bit of an empty space, but I don't know, I like how it looks in the moment. And we are working on the kitchen. I decided to use the spa day counters, which isn't something that I do too often. They don't really fit in a lot of the builds that I like to make, so it was a little bit random. And you might be able to tell if you've got kind of eagle eyes that the island is a little bit off center. I did not actually notice this until I think I was taking the screenshots, so I did decide to leave it. I think it still looks fine, you don't really notice, and I do kind of counter it with a garbage can, which I think is why I also didn't really notice that it was off center, but I think it still looks fine. But I did also use the appliances from the Home Chef Hustle kit, or stuff pack. I will never get that name right. But yeah, I did use the appliances from that just to kind of keep going with that modern theme. And over here in the dining room, it switches up quite a bit. Right now we're going with a black and white theme, but I really hated that. So I do actually end up changing the table into a brown. And later on, I actually changed the chairs. I think I changed it in post-production. I changed the chairs to ones from City Living, also in a brown swatch, because I just felt like this room was just, I don't know, it was too dark, too cold. I did not like it at all. And over here, as an end table next to this chair from Snowy Escape, I use an ottoman from high school years, and I size that down, and then I use a shelf to kind of line it up to the height of the ottoman, and like kind of use that to drag a little flower on top of it, just to make it look like it's actually an end table and not a little ottoman. But I really love these big windows, big bay windows that I used around a lot of the apartment. They are from Laundry Day, I believe, and they look super cool. I really was so like pleasantly surprised that the black swatch made it look so modern, and I pair those with some curtains from City Living. And yeah, I definitely struggled picking the swatch because there's not a lot of good swatches for those curtains, but I did really want to use them. So I decided to go with white ones here, and I think I used the black version in other parts of the build, other parts of the house. And over here we have a very perfect wall for a piece of art, and I end up going with a piece from Love Struck. I really like this one. I felt like it definitely warmed up the space. It added a little bit of color because it is just so bland and monochrome, and this is also where I'm kind of trying to change that a little bit by adding some funkier bar stools or something. I end up going with these ones from Island Living, which definitely warmed up the space and added a little bit of like a fun kind of classic element. Not really classic, but I don't know, they added a fun element to the build. And now we're going to be working on the office because Valentina, which is one of the townies that live in this house, is actually a romance consultant, which is the new career that came with Love Struck. So I wanted to make her an office, and like originally my idea was to kind of extend the theme of the rest of the build into the office as well and kind of keep it coherent, but I was struggling. As you can probably tell, I was really struggling. It just didn't feel right, it didn't look right, they just didn't line up, and I was really unhappy. And then I found these bookshelves from Book Nook, and I was like, okay, like maybe this will help, this will kind of I don't know, they look very nice, so let's go with that. We'll put it in the black swatch to again kind of keep with the rest of the theme. And then I found this chandelier, and I fell in love with the pink swatch of this, and I was like, you know what if we just lighten it up? What if we make it completely different from the rest of the house? Let's put it in pink, let's change the wall color into this like lighter brown, and just kind of make it a little bit more warm, a little bit brighter, a little bit more feminine, and honestly it feels a lot more romantic than the rest of the house. I guess like if you're into like the dark and gloomy kind of romance, then the rest of the house works, but I just felt like, I don't know, I wanted this to be a little bit cozier, and I really like how it looks. I'm obsessed with those green curtains that kind of just cut through the pink and the warmth and just add a little bit of a colder color, and they look really cool. I think that they're kind of like feature curtains. And I again used those love seats from Love Struck, except I used them in a lighter swatch, and the desk chair that I used is actually from high school years, and it has that perfect pink swatch, and it kind of just all matched, which I really love. I kind of like when that happens, when you use items from a lot of different packs but they still somehow match. And I also placed some ottomans from movie hangout stuff over to the left of the desk, which I really love. And the rug situation was a little bit hard because I was kind of like struggling with the areas kind of overlapping into each other. So I actually ended up sizing up this rug from Snowy Escape, and I really like how it looks. I felt like the shape was a little bit funkier, and I also want to point out that the carpet is from Dine Out, I think. So a little bit of a rarer pack that people don't really have anymore, but I really like the way it looked. So we are starting off on the second floor now. I am going to make all of the outdoor spaces at the same time, or I guess furnish them at the same time. So that will happen once we are done with the second floor. But for right now, we are working on kind of the landing and the hallway space of the second floor, which I think ends up looking really cool. I think it is a little bit functional. I do place like a whole seating area, and I place a record player from Get Famous, which looks really cool. And yeah, we have 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. One bedroom is kind of just off to the left, right when you get up the stairs. There's nobody else that lives in this household currently, except for Valentina, and I think it's Aziz is her husband's name or partner's name. Yeah, so it's only them, but I imagine that they can have a guest room. I think in the original build there was a guest room, so they have that, and I guess if you decide that you want them to have kids or roommates or something, that's a perfect second bedroom, or if you want to turn it into a skill building room, that also works. So yeah, I just created this living room, and I think I like it more than the living room downstairs. I think the style is just more my style. And I really love how I placed these cabinets that are from Spa Day above the record player. Like, I imagine that that's kind of where they store all of the records. So that's really cool. And I'm really glad that I got to fit in that coffee table from Growing Together. I just really like that coffee table. So I thought it looked really cool. Here next to the door, I was trying to find an art piece, but I was kind of struggling. So I think in the end, I actually ended up putting the like 1 tile entryway table from, I want to say perhaps City Living, maybe City Living. Yeah, I think I placed, oh no, I think it's Spa Day actually. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to stop talking because I have no idea what it's from. But I do end up placing the 1 tile entryway, and then I place some plants on top, some hanging ones that go on the wall that are actually from Lovestruck as well. And I decided to place another window in here because apparently we didn't have enough. And I go with this table, I go with this bed from Base Game that I pair with these end tables from Pastel Pop, and I thought they looked really cool. Originally I go with this kind of more blue swatch from, for that bed, I was gonna say for that Base Game bed, and then I didn't really know what vowel was about to come out of my mouth. But yeah, I started off with the blue swatch for that bed, but then I actually felt that the black one actually made it easier for me to be more experimental in other areas of the room when it comes to color. So I switched to the black swatch, and I used this rug from Seasons, which I rarely, if ever, use. So I just thought it was really cool. I really liked the blue swatch, and I liked the animal print on it. So yeah, this room actually ends up looking pretty cool. It's not super personalized because in my head it is more of a guest room. So I left it pretty simple. So if you do decide to download this, you can definitely just like be creative and add whatever you want really to make it look better. You can also turn it into an office space for Aziz if you want. So yeah, I did place like a little bit of a table over there with that glass chair in case the person here wants to use like a little desk area or for whatever they want. Maybe you can place a laptop on that and Aziz can use that as his like desk area, as his office, so who knows. But we are working on the primary bedroom now, and I decided to go with this like vibrating bed from Lovestruck that has this tiger print. I thought it was really cool, and I also ended up using the same wardrobe that I had used in the other bedroom that is in that black and gold swatch, which I really like. And I don't really like this armchair that much personally. I don't know the shape of it, the texture just looks so abnormal. I don't like it at all. But it did match the vibe of the room, so I did decide to keep it, and I really like that Growing Together table that I sized down next to it. It's, it was a little bit annoying to place things on it, but I made it work and it's fine. It's just an extra step. And around the bed here, just to kind of ground it in the space, I decided to add some cabinets around it just to kind of frame it, and I used these ones from Base Game, and since it wasn't totally centered and perfect, I used some shelves to kind of connect the 2 cabinet sections, and I really like the way it looks. I also really love those end tables that I placed, which are from, I want to say Eco Lifestyle. But yeah, I really like those. I think that they look really cool and really modern, and they're not like my usual style. I think I've only really started using them ever since I've started making videos, because before they just like weren't really in my wheelhouse, and now I'm really glad that they are because they have a really cool shape. And I do think that in post-production I actually changed the swatch on them so they don't stay that way, but they still look very nice. And over here there is like a tiny balcony-ish thing that I just place a couple plants out here. There's really not any space to place anything real, so I kept it simple. And now we're going to be working on the bathrooms. We're starting with the guest bathroom, and I didn't really know what or like how detailed I wanted the floor to be. I ended up going with this one from Base Game, which is just a simple black one. And I thought about placing that like talking toilet from City Living, but I changed my mind and I just placed this normal one from Seasons. And this bathroom is just really simple. It's very modern, very clean, very, very cool, I think. And yeah, I just really like it. It doesn't have too much to it. I mean, it's the bathroom. Sometimes I don't even film furnishing the bathrooms because it's just so boring, but I really like how these ones turned out, so I decided to keep it. And for this bathroom, I did want to originally make like a shower room, but instead I decided to just put that very big bathtub. It's very luxurious, and a little bit of a double sink here, a big old mirror, and yeah, kept it super chill. I do also end up changing that big wall into a half wall and placing some windows above there because this room actually doesn't have any windows right now, and that seems like I don't know, it seems like a bad idea. I feel like it would get very humid probably, especially in a Latin American inspired world. There's a lot of humidity down there. I'm from there and it's a lot. And I know that technically the Sims don't function that way, but I don't know, it's just for my own sanity and for my own realism, I decided to add some windows. And out here, we are going to be placing a staircase because there is also going to be a big rooftop patio that I really love. I think it looks so cool. You probably saw that I also placed a pool out here, and yeah, that kind of eats away at the second floor, but it looks really cool up here to be in the pool and just like, I don't know, swimming all the way above the city. And I just placed some half walls up here. And I don't know, I'm really obsessed with all of the outdoor spaces that I created. I'm not really one to create a lot of outdoor spaces. I don't know, I am an outdoorsy person. I like being outside, but when it comes to furnishing them in The Sims, it's just kind of a pain for me. But I used this new pool trim from Lovestruck, and it was like kind of clipping weird because of the way that the wall was placed, so I just kind of covered that up with a plant. And then over here, I decided to place a hot tub from Perfect Patio, and next to it, I raised up the platform and I added some plants just to kind of add a little bit more greenery since we are in the middle of the city, and also because I felt that it kind of framed the hot tub better if we kind of cut out that little indent. And out here, we're also placing some lawn chairs. Are they not lawn chairs? Lounge chairs. Yeah, something like that. Lounge chairs, and honestly, this rooftop is definitely for entertaining. I think that they probably throw a lot of like mixers and like mingling parties. I guess since she's a romance consultant, she'd like to throw parties for all of her clients to meet each other. I actually have a friend who has like a matchmaking service, and they throw a lot of little parties for yeah, all of their people to go and meet others, and even someone who doesn't really want to sign up for the matchmaking service but just like wants to meet people. It's a really great way for people to, I don't know, network and get to know each other. And I really like this little setup that I made with these chairs from Perfect Patio, and I think that the coffee table might be from City Living, and that rug is from Decor to the Max, which I really, really love. I did end up using a lot of Perfect Patio up here, which I wasn't really expecting. I probably haven't used a lot of Perfect Patio since I got it, which was probably right around the time that it came out. I am a veteran Sims player. I'm vintage, as they say, and yeah, I haven't really used it too much because there were like way better things that came out since. But since we have so many outdoor spaces, I felt like it was probably good to mix it up, and I really wanted to add some kind of pergola or awning, but I couldn't really find the right one. I tried placing that one from high school years, but it looked absolutely ridiculous. And yeah, I'm just kind of creating a little outdoor cooking area with the barbecue and the counters, which again are all from Perfect Patio. So yeah, that looked really cool. I think the chairs actually though that I used for the dining table are from City Living. or Get Together, actually. They might be from Get Together. I forget that Get Together exists. So yeah, some of the items that I have set are from City Living could also be from Get Together, because I get them a little bit mixed up in my head. I don't remember. I know Get Together came out first. It came out like before City Living, but I don't remember if they were one after the other. I honestly can't keep track of the timeline of these things. But now we're working on the second floor balcony and adding some lounge chairs, except these ones are a little bit more private because they're down here, and also adding a dining area. Here we have one with the umbrella, which is from the backyard stuff, and I think it looks really cool. I actually never noticed that that umbrella was translucent, but I think it looks really nice. And yeah, bringing down those warm woods again, I felt like they really help like warm up the very concrete facade of the build. And I also decided to add some vertical planters out here and added that little shelf from Backyard Stuff, which looks really cute with all of the flowers. It just totally makes sense in my head for a romance consultant to have a lot of like flower plants around. And I don't know, maybe like when they get a new client or something, they give them a flower, or whenever they prepare them for a date or something, they give them flowers to kind of, I don't know, give to people. And instead of always buying bouquets, they were like, you know what, why don't we just have a little garden? And something that I really love to do is whenever there's like a half wall like this that looks a little bit blank, is adding those window planters, window boxes on the walls. And I feel like they really fill up the space so nicely. And especially for like apartments and stuff, I think they look really cool. And we are going to be working now on like the first floor. Technically, I'm doing quotations with my fingers, but you can't see, the first floor balcony. And this one I decided to make more of like a cooking area, so or a bit more of like a dining level. And yeah, just because it's like right next to the kitchen, so I added a little bit of a barbecue. And over here between the two doors, I added a more private dining area, so it's a bit of a smaller table. It's a little bit more romantic of a table, I guess. I don't know, it just looks a little bit cuter. It's not so big and social and modern. And I also placed a little bit of a rose on there, so I can imagine Valentina and Aziz sitting there and having their morning coffee. Oh, that would be so cute, overlooking the city. I love when I'm building and I get to kind of, I don't know, get these images of the Sims actually using it. Although, I don't know, it's not as realistic in The Sims as it is in my head. But anyways, we are at the screenshots now, so we are going to get to see all of the little details that I've added in post-production for the many floors, many spaces. And honestly, the whole window thing placement on penthouses always confuses me a little bit, but we're just gonna ignore it because we don't really look at it that much, do we? And we're starting off with our entryway, super simple, but I really love all of the little details, all of the colors mixing together, the black and the gold and the greens. I think that it looks really nice, and I really love those Art Deco wall lamps. I think that they look really cool. And I do also change the color of the lights to neutral for the rest of the screenshots. I just like didn't think of it in the moment. I didn't really notice that they were so yellow. But here's our storage area. I kept it really simple. I didn't really want to clutter it too much. And here we have our living room, our main living room. I think it looks really nice. I really like the mix of like shapes and textures in here. I think that it looks really cool. I can't wait to hear what you guys think. But this room, honestly, I didn't clutter too much, but I think it looks really nice. I feel like maybe it is more of an entertaining space, so you don't want it to be too cluttered, I think. And here we have our kitchen. I did add a few more details and clutter to the counters, but kept it very tasteful. I don't think that these people, I mean, they don't have kids or anything, so I doubt that they have to be super cluttered. It's also just two people in a very large space, so I feel like if you are living cramped and cluttered when you have this giant space to just two people, like, what are you doing? But here we have our beautiful office. I love this place. I don't think I actually changed anything in here because it was already perfect, but I do love how soft it is, all of the pastels, and I really like the contrast to the rest of the house. I think that it's a very nice little haven from the otherwise very stark, dark, and harsh house. But now we're going to see our balcony here, and I do really love this space too. I don't know, I really like that island that I placed in front of the barbecue, and I changed the rug situation here as well. But yeah, look at that view over the city. Imagine like cooking with your friends, hanging out, and looking over that. And here we have our upstairs, our landing hallway, and I added some puzzles on the coffee table because, I don't know, that felt like a little bit like more, it made it feel a little bit more lived in, and I felt like it also gave the space a little bit more of like a function, because otherwise it's just kind of like a bunch of chairs and, I don't know, a bookshelf. And here we have our guest bathroom and our guest bedroom, which I also really like. I love how it is still like, I mean, it's generic, but it is still like very, I don't know, it still feels very loved, in my head at least. I feel like there are a lot of people that like to stay here. And here we have our bedroom, our primary bedroom. I added an ottoman in here, and I love that I subtly placed the costume trunk over there in the corner. Let's just pretend it's not there. None of my business what they do in here. But I do really like this space. It is very modern, but I really love the animal print on the duvet. And here we have our primary bathroom. I did add that mirror from Modern Luxe Kit, which I think looks really nice. And now we are seeing our second floor balcony, which also is just super cute. And yeah, you can definitely see them having a lot of friends over. There are just so many places outside to hang out. It would be a waste of space to not have a million friends over all of the time, which is probably why I couldn't be able to live here, because I just don't have the social battery for that. But I do know that I would feel guilty for not utilizing this space as well as I could be. So yeah, this is just one of the reasons why I probably can't live in this penthouse. But this is going to be the last space we see. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this build as much as I did. Bye buds, and thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss any future videos. Comment and share with your friends. Talk to y'all soon. Bye!